Chosen one, heaven has paused for you. Right now, as your eyes fall on these words, you know that time itself bends under the weight of divine urgency. The 8th of September is not just another day on the calendar, it is the appointed step, the final turning point that heaven has marked for you. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. You are here because the Spirit has called you into this exact moment. You feel it already, your spirit leaning forward, your heart beating differently, sensing that what is about to unfold carries eternal significance. For too long, you have wondered, why me? Why have I walked through fire, storms, and valleys? And the answer is being whispered now, because you are chosen, set apart for a destiny others cannot touch. This word is for you, and heaven has moved aside every distraction so you could hear it clearly. Do not take this lightly. The heavens rarely pause, but when they do, it is always for the raising of a warrior, for the awakening of a vessel, for the crowning of a chosen one. That is you. This is why your battles were so fierce, because your assignment carries weight. Every delay you endured, every betrayal you suffered, every silent tear you cried, it was all pressing you toward this single moment of unveiling. The 8th of September is the moment where preparation meets prophecy. It is the day when everything hidden will begin to reveal itself. When the doors you thought were sealed shut will begin to open. You have been prepared in secret, and now you are being released into the open. Think of how a seed presses against darkness underground until the moment it breaks forth into the light. That is you right now. Chosen one, hear me. The Spirit is pressing this message with urgency. You cannot stay casual about what heaven is declaring. This is the final step before the shift. The one step that separates those who almost obeyed from those who walked boldly into their inheritance. The line is being drawn, and you are being called to cross it. Your spirit already knows this is not just information, this is revelation. You can feel it burning in your bones. You sense that heaven is leaning close, whispering destiny into your ear. And I must tell you, with clarity, the 8th of September is heaven's appointment with your obedience. When the calendar turns, the atmosphere will shift, and the window will not remain open forever. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 27, "Peace I leave you, my peace I give, not as world gives. Do not let hearts be troubled or afraid." Chosen one. This is why you cannot quit here. This is why you cannot drown in despair or surrender to weariness. Heaven has paused to tell you, there is more, and it is closer than you imagine. The pain you carried was never meant to bury you. It was meant to shape you into a vessel capable of carrying the glory that is about to be revealed. I feel this deeply for you. God has chosen this exact season to separate you from the noise, to remove the false voices, to silence the doubts, and to release clarity over your life. Do not dismiss this. Do not scroll past it like another passing word. This is your confirmation, your moment of divine interruption. Every angel in heaven knows the significance of this appointed time. The 8th of September is the final step, not in the sense of ending, but in the sense of completion. It is the threshold that must be crossed so you can walk into new beginnings. The number 8 itself declares new creation, resurrection, and divine alignment. You are stepping out of the old cycle, and you are being ushered into covenant renewal. This is why the warfare intensified before now, because the enemy knew the date of your release was drawing near. He tried to distract you, discourage you, and destroy your hope. But he failed. You are still here, and because you are still here, heaven is saying, you are ready. Oh, so I call you, not as a stranger, but as a messenger of destiny. Rise. Beloved, do not shrink back. Do not hesitate. The pause of heaven is proof that your name has been called, your assignment has been sealed, and your moment has come. If you can sense the weight of this word, if you know this is heaven speaking directly to you, then I urge you now, respond. Like this message, share it with others who need to awaken, and subscribe so you remain connected to the flow of prophetic declarations over your life. And as a prophetic act, declare your alignment in the comments by typing the number 8, the number of new beginnings, covenant renewal, and divine release. This is your sign. This is your moment. And the 8th of September is your final step into everything changing forever. Chosen one. Listen closely. You are not standing here by accident. The very fact that your path has led you to this word is proof of divine orchestration. Nothing about your journey has been random. Not the battles, not the breakthroughs, not even the delays. All of it has been a tapestry, woven by the unseen hand of God, guiding you step by step to this appointed moment. How many times did you wonder why life seemed so heavy on your shoulders, while others around you appeared carefree? How many nights did you question if the pain you carried had any meaning? It was not punishment, it was preparation. You were not overlooked, you were being hidden for preservation. And now, as the veil is lifted, you can begin to see why heaven marked you from the beginning. Chosen one. Others may have dismissed you, rejected you, or even laughed at your faith. Yet what they could not see was the seal over your life. You are different. And that difference is not a curse, but a calling. It is the reason doors did not open for you when they opened for others. It is the reason you were pulled out of environments that no longer matched your spirit. It is the reason you could never blend in, no matter how hard you tried. This is the reality of being chosen. Your path is narrow, your steps are ordered, and your life is not your own. Every valley you walked, every storm you endured, every time you felt like giving up, but somehow kept going, it was heaven's way of whispering, not yet. You are still on assignment. End. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah with words that still breathed life into weary hearts. Chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper, not to harm, plans for hope and future. You are not stumbling blindly through life. You are walking on sacred ground, even when you cannot feel it. Every detour was divine redirection. Every delay was hidden protection. Every closed door was heaven's way of saying, not here, not yet. Do you see it now? The disappointments that once broke you are now the evidence that God has been guiding you all along. Chosen one. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection. What you believed was abandonment was actually preservation. You were being kept safe for the hour you are stepping into now. Your story was not written to end in defeat. It was written to reveal glory. And the 8th of September has been circled on heaven's calendar as the unveiling of that glory. There is a reason this message reaches you today. It is not because of an algorithm, nor because of chance, nor because of coincidence. Heaven orchestrates moments like this to confirm what your spirit has already been sensing, that you are set apart, that your life carries weight, that the steps ahead of you are holy ground. Do you remember the times you nearly gave up, the times you whispered, "I cannot go on," and yet, here you are, still breathing, still pressing forward, still standing? That is not human strength alone, that is divine preservation. The fact that you are still here is the loudest proof that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never left behind. Chosen one. The world may have tried to convince you otherwise. The enemy may have whispered lies into your ears, telling you that your life was insignificant, but deep within your spirit, you always knew there was more. That is why you could never settle for less. That is why compromise made you restless. That is why you have felt out of place in the patterns of this world. You were not designed to fit, you were designed to stand out, to shine, to carry what others cannot. You are not here by mistake. The 8th of September is not just a date, it is the culmination of divine timing. Everything you have endured until now has been leading you here. Every scar is proof that you were built to endure. Every battle is proof that you were marked to win. And every whisper of doubt is proof that the enemy fears your rising. So, hear this clearly. You are not an accident. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, sealed, preserved, and now awakened for such a time as this. Heaven has not overlooked you. Heaven has been preparing you. And as this appointed moment draws near, your eyes will finally see what your spirit has always known, that you were destined for this hour. Chosen one. You have carried a weight that many cannot see. Behind your smile, there were battles. Behind your strength, there were tears. Behind your silence, there were prayers no one else could hear. Yet, through it all, you remained standing. And that is not by chance, it is by divine preservation. You are not here simply surviving. You are here because your destiny demanded you endure. The truth is, your life has never followed the same pattern as others. While they celebrated what seemed like easy victories, you found yourself walking through valleys that felt endless. While others built their houses on sand, you were being carved out upon rock. What looked like delay was actually foundation. What looked like struggle was actually strengthening. You were being forged in fire so that nothing could break you when the unveiling came. Chosen one. You have been misunderstood. People could not grasp why you seemed so different, why you could not simply settle, why the things that satisfied others left you restless. That restlessness was never a flaw. It was a sign. Your spirit was reaching for something higher, for something eternal, for the divine assignment written over your life. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Oh, chosen one, you need to hear this. Your pain has purpose. Every scar is a testimony. Every trial, a seed. Every season of silence, a preparation for the sound of breakthrough. Nothing you endured is wasted. The enemy wanted you to believe that your suffering disqualified you. But heaven declares that it has actually qualified you. You have walked through fire and emerged, refined, not destroyed. And now, the Spirit stirs me to say this clearly. The 8th of September is not just a date on your calendar, it is the moment of unveiling for the chosen ones. The shadows that tried to bury you cannot hide you anymore. The setbacks that tried to silence you cannot mute heaven's decree. You are stepping into the light of your assignment, and everything around you will begin to recognize what heaven already knew. You are chosen. This is the time to respond. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with faith. Faith moves the unseen into reality. Faith is the bridge between what has been spoken and what will manifest. And heaven is waiting to see your agreement, to see you rise and say, "Yes, I believe. Yes, I am ready." So I invite you now to seal this moment with a prophetic response. Type in the comments, "I rise now." Let these 3 words be more than text on a screen. Let them be a declaration in the Spirit. When you type it, you are announcing to heaven, to earth, and even to the darkness that tried to bind you, "I am stepping into my calling. I refuse to stay hidden. I accept the mantle." Your response is not small. It is a prophetic act that aligns your heart with heaven's decree. Chosen one. You must understand, heaven partners with your obedience. When you declare, "I rise now," you are not speaking into emptiness. You are activating alignment. Angels move at the sound of obedience. Demons tremble at the sound of faith. And your future begins to unlock when you speak what heaven is speaking over you. For too long, you allowed silence to hold you back. You endured quietly, carrying battles within while pretending on the outside. But heaven is saying, "No more silence. It is time for your voice to carry authority. It is time for your faith to be made visible. It is time for your prophetic declaration to be written in heaven's record. I rise now." Beloved, the 8th of September is not the end of struggle. It is the start of glory. It is not the conclusion of your story. It is the unveiling of why your story had to be written this way. Others may not understand, but you will see it clearly. Every delay was divine timing. Every tear was watering the soil. Every prayer was a seed now ready to break open. Remember this: the glory to be revealed in you cannot be compared to the suffering you endured. The fire was real, but the flame will now light your path. The storm was fierce, but the wind will now carry your wings. The valley was dark, but the shadow is proof of the light breaking forth. Chosen one, you are not almost there, you are here. The shift is now, the time is now, and heaven is calling you not to watch passively, but to step boldly. Do not miss this final step. Declare it, live it, step into it. Type it now, "I rise now," and let your spirit rise with the words. For they are not just written, they are lived, breathed, and sealed by heaven itself. Chosen one, let your heart be still and receive what is being spoken. The 8th of September is not arriving to catch you by surprise. It has been whispered into your spirit for longer than you realize. The unease you felt in recent weeks, the stirring that would not let you rest, the sense that something is about to happen, these were not random feelings. They were prophetic echoes, preparing your heart for what is now being revealed. This date carries a seal of finality. It is the culmination of preparation and the threshold of transformation. For years, you have been walking, climbing, pressing through, and wondering when the shift would come, and heaven has chosen this day to declare, the waiting has served its purpose. The hidden season has been fulfilled. The last piece of the puzzle is sliding into place. Chosen one, consider what it means that heaven calls this the final step. It does not mean your journey ends. It means the cycle you have been trapped in breaks. The wilderness season that stretched you, humbled you, and stripped away what could not go with you, that wilderness is closing. The refining fire that tested you, purified your motives, and sharpened your spirit, that fire has done its work. The lessons you learned in secret will now become the foundation of your public assignment. The prophet Elijah once confronted the people with words that echo across generations. Chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. End of 2. Think back on the road you have walked. The nights you cried out, God, I do not understand. The days you wondered if he was still with you. The silence that felt unbearable. And yet, in all of it, you were never abandoned. Even in the wilderness, manna appeared, even in the storm. The hand of God held you, even in the valley. His voice whispered direction. Every step has been leading here. Chosen one. You may not see the full picture yet. That is why this requires faith. But heaven never reveals the entire road before the step is taken. The final step of this season is about trust. It is about saying, even if I cannot see, I will obey. Even if I do not understand, I will move. Because faith is not about knowing everything, it is about trusting the one who knows everything. Understand this. The 8th of September is not simply about you, it is about the ripple effect of your obedience. When a chosen one rises, the world around them shifts. Families are restored. Generational chains are broken. Atmospheres change. Your decision is not a private matter, it is a kingdom matter. Heaven is waiting for you. But so are lives you have not yet touched. People you have not yet met. Souls you have not yet spoken to. This is why the battles intensified before this moment. The resistance you faced was not because you were weak, it was because you were nearing breakthrough. The enemy always fights hardest before release. He knows that once you step fully into your calling, the territory he once occupied will no longer be his. He knows that your light will expose his darkness. Your voice will silence his lies. Your presence will disrupt his plans. Chosen one. The shift is already happening. Can you feel it? The atmosphere around you has been heavy because transition always feels weighty. Birth is not gentle. It is pressing, straining, breaking, and then the cry of new life. That is what this season feels like, the birthing of a new you. The 8th of September is not bringing something random. It is bringing what has been growing inside you for years. You are standing at the threshold of a moment that cannot be undone. Heaven is not calling you into endless cycles of almost. Heaven is calling you into completion. The final step is not about effort, it is about surrender. To yield fully. To let go of what no longer belongs. To trust that what lies ahead is greater than what lies behind. Chosen one. There will be no need to force this shift. It is not about striving, it is about stepping. The doors will open not by your strength, but by divine decree. The favor will come not through manipulation, but through alignment. What is required of you is not to fight for recognition, but to recognize the one who has already gone before you. And as you step, you will see what was hidden. You will understand why you had to wait, why certain prayers seemed unanswered, why certain paths were blocked. It was never denial, it was redirection. The author of your destiny was writing chapters you could not yet read. But now, the page is turning. Chosen one. Stand firm. The 8th of September is not just a date, it is a declaration. It is the final step into a new season. And you are ready. You may not feel ready. But readiness is not about feelings, it is about preparation. And heaven testifies, you are prepared. Chosen one. You are standing on sacred ground. The separation has already begun. Those who only carried the title called are being distinguished from those who carry the seal chosen. The 8th of September is the line of division. And you are stepping onto the side where heaven recognizes not only your name, but your surrender. This is not about pride. And it is not about comparison. It is about destiny. A soldier may wear the same uniform as thousands, but only a few are entrusted with the secret mission. You, beloved, are one of those few. While others live comfortably in the crowd, you are being drawn into deeper waters. And though deeper waters can feel dangerous, they are where miracles happen. Chosen one. The world may never understand why your path looks different, but heaven's perspective is clear. To be chosen is to be set apart. Your very life is a parable. Think of a diamond while still in the earth. It looks like an ordinary stone. Only after intense pressure, cutting, and refining does its true brilliance appear. That has been your life. Others saw only the dirt, but heaven saw the diamond. This is why separation feels painful. You have had to let go of people, places, and even parts of yourself that could not walk into this next season, like an eagle stirring its nest. God allowed discomfort to drive you higher. Eagles do not soar in flocks. They rise alone into the heights. And that is your calling. Hear me clearly. This separation is not rejection. It is elevation. It is heaven saying, you are ready for what others are not yet prepared to carry. It is not that you are better. It is that you are burdened differently. The oil you carry was pressed out through experiences few could endure. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 4, verse 3. Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. This is your confirmation. You have been set apart. Heaven hears you, even when others dismiss you. And now, beloved, I speak to your heart with gentleness. This mission cannot move forward in isolation. Just as Moses had Aaron to lift his hands, just as Paul had the churches to sustain his journey, so too, this word continues because of faithful hearts who stand in agreement. If this message is stirring your spirit, I ask you to partner with it in the simplest yet most powerful ways. Share it, so another weary soul might discover their identity as chosen. Like it, so the flow of the word reaches beyond barriers. Subscribe, so you remain aligned with every declaration heaven releases here. And if the Spirit leads, support this work tangibly, like pouring oil into a lamp so it may continue burning through the night. Your seed, no matter how small, becomes the fuel that carries light into dark places. Think of a lighthouse on a stormy coast. Its beam does not shine for itself. It shines for ships searching for safety. But that light cannot remain without those who maintain the flame. Beloved, this channel, this message, this flow of heaven, it is the lighthouse. And you, when you give, when you share, when you support, you are the keeper of the flame. I do not ask out of obligation, but out of vision. Together we carry this light further than one voice alone ever could. Together, We reach chosen ones who are still wandering, still doubting, still needing a word that awakens them. So hear my heart. When you partner in these ways, you are not giving to a person, you are sowing into a movement, a mission, a mantle. You are strengthening the hands that carry the trumpet, so the sound can continue to awaken the called into the chosen. The 8th of September is coming, and the separation will be undeniable. Stand firm. Beloved, recognize who you are, embrace the mantle, and understand that your yes not only shifts your life, but strengthens the lives connected to you. You are not standing on ordinary ground, you are standing on destiny's threshold. The world may never applaud, but heaven is watching. The line has been drawn, and you have already crossed it. Now rise, shine, and let your light confirm what has always been true. You are chosen, chosen one. The weight of this hour is not hidden from you. Your spirit already senses that the 8th of September is more than a date. It is a divine alignment. The heavens have orchestrated this moment with precision, and every sign points toward renewal, restoration, and release. The number itself carries meaning, and heaven is pressing you to see it. The number 8 has always marked a turning point. After 7 days, creation was complete. But on the 8th day came the new beginning. The ark rested after the flood, and 8 souls stepped out into a renewed earth. David was the 8th son, overlooked but chosen to carry the anointing of kingship. Again and again, the number 8 testifies that when the old ends, heaven births the new, chosen one. Can you not feel it? This is why your old cycles are breaking. This is why patterns that once repeated endlessly are now coming to a halt. The wheel of frustration, disappointment, betrayal, and delay. It stops here. The 8th of September is the crossing over into covenant renewal. The number declares it, and heaven seals it. The Apostle Paul wrote words that still pulse with truth today. Chapter 5, verse 17. In his second letter to the Corinthians, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone. The new is here, beloved." This is what heaven says about you now. You are not defined by what you survived. You are defined by what you are becoming. Chosen one. Take a moment to reflect. How many times did you feel trapped in repetition? How many times did you ask, "Why do I always end up here again?" That cycle was not punishment, it was preparation. Heaven allowed you to see the futility of your own strength so that you would be ready for the shift into divine strength. The old is gone. The new is here. The 8th of September is your covenant renewal. Just as a wedding ring symbolizes the vow between bride and groom, this day symbolizes heaven's vow over you. It is not that God ever left you, it is that heaven now calls you to step into full agreement. A covenant cannot be half-kept. It demands yes without wavering, yes without retreat, yes without conditions. And you, beloved, are being drawn into that. Yes, do not fear what you leave behind. The old patterns, the old voices, the old fears, they were never meant to accompany you into the next season. They are the weights that held you down, the cords that tied you to delay. The 8th of September is the sword that cuts them off. You will walk lighter, freer, more certain of who you are and who you serve. This is why heaven presses you now. You cannot stand at this threshold with indecision. Elijah's ancient question still echoes. How long will you waver? The wavering ends here. The line is drawn, and your yes carries eternal weight. Chosen one, I feel this in my spirit for you. Your obedience on this day is not only about your future, but about the generations tied to you. When Noah stepped into the ark, his whole family was saved. When Abraham said yes, nations were blessed. When Mary surrendered, salvation entered the world. Your yes is not small, it is generational. Beloved, heaven requires a prophetic act from you now. Do not let this moment pass silently. Seal it with a declaration. As a sign of your agreement with heaven's covenant, type the number 444 inch, the comments. This number is not random. It represents the firm foundation of God's promises, the stability of His covenant, the unshakable alignment of heaven's design. When you type it, you are not playing with digits. You are proclaiming, I stand on the foundation of God's covenant. I align with heaven's design. I walk in stability, not confusion. Let it be your yes, your marker, your testimony written in the Spirit. Chosen one. Hear me, the 8th of September is not about what you lose, it is about what you gain. The enemy wants you to cling to what is familiar, but heaven calls you to reach for what is eternal. Do not cling to crumbs when the table has been prepared for you. Do not stay in shadows when the light has come to crown you. The number 444 is heaven's reminder. Your steps are ordered. Your path is secure. Your covenant is unbreakable. The winds may blow, storms may rage, but the foundation of the Lord stands firm, and you, beloved, are standing on it. Let this truth settle in your heart. You are not walking into uncertainty, you are walking into alignment. You are not stepping into confusion, you are stepping into covenant. The 8th of September will not mark your end, it will mark your unveiling. Chosen one, stand tall, lift your head, strengthen your heart. The old has gone, the new is here, and heaven has chosen you to live it, to walk it, to declare it. Type 444 now, and let it echo in the Spirit. I am aligned, I am secured, I am chosen. Chosen one. The warfare you have faced in silence has been louder in the Spirit than you ever imagined. What you endured was not just natural opposition, it was unseen battle. The heaviness, the strange delays, the sudden waves of discouragement, the betrayals that cut deeper than words. All of these were markers that you were carrying something worth fighting against. The darkness only invests its energy in those who are dangerous to it. Think of it this way: thieves do not break into empty houses. The enemy never wasted his time on those who pose no threat. But your life, beloved, has carried a treasure hidden inside, and that treasure attracted warfare. You were born with a light that terrifies darkness, even when you did not know your own strength. The shadows recognized it. That is why resistance rose against you before you even understood your calling. Chosen one, your life has not been ordinary because your assignment is not ordinary. The patterns of betrayal were not coincidence. They were designed to break your trust so you would doubt God's voice. The waves of discouragement were not random. They were sent to silence your prayers. The loneliness you walked through was not without meaning. It was meant to convince you that you were forgotten. But all of it has failed. You are still standing. And that is the greatest proof of who you are. The ancient words recorded in Ephesians speak to this directly. Chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Oh, chosen one, reflect for a moment. How many times did the attack come right before a breakthrough? How many times did the storm intensify right before a door opened? The enemy always tries to discourage you on the edge of transition. He knew the 8th of September was coming. He felt the tremors of your release. And so, the attacks grew stronger, not because you were weak, but because your season of unveiling was near. But here is the truth. Everything sent to break you has become the evidence that you cannot be broken. Every fiery dart aimed at your heart only revealed that you carry armor unseen by human eyes. The tears you cried in secret became the water that nourished the soil of your destiny. The wounds you carry are not proof of defeat, they are proof of survival. Proof of refinement. Proof of the oil that flows only from pressing. Chosen one. You may not realize it, but you have already been walking in victory. The fact that you are here, still breathing, still listening, still hoping, that is victory. Many others faced what you faced and gave up, but you did not. And that is because heaven's hand was on you. Even when you felt like letting go, heaven refused to let go of you. Understand this clearly. The hidden warfare you endured is about to be publicly vindicated. Those who doubted you will see the favor upon you. Those who mocked your prayers will witness the answers. Those who thought you were finished will watch you rise. The 8th of September is not only a shift, it is a revelation of what was happening behind the veil all along. This is why the refining was so intense. Gold cannot shine without fire. Wine cannot flow without crushing. Oil cannot be pressed without weight. You, beloved, have been through all three, and now you are stepping into the season where the fruit of it will pour out. The fire made you pure. The crushing made you ready. The pressing made you anointed, chosen one. The unseen battle has taught you to discern, to recognize, to stand when others would fall. You have learned that not everything is as it seems, that what looks like chaos can carry divine order, that what feels like delay can be heaven's timing. You have learned to pray when no one else believed, to worship when no one else understood, to stand when no one else stood with you. That is the mark of the chosen. And now, beloved, heaven declares over you, the warfare was confirmation, not condemnation. The storm was not your punishment, it was your proof. You are not being destroyed, you are being revealed. The 8th of September is not the end of battle, but the beginning of vindication. And what the enemy tried to silence, heaven is about to amplify. So let your heart rest in this. The hidden warfare you endured was never wasted. It forged you into a vessel the darkness fears and heaven trusts. You may not feel like a warrior, but your scars are the medals of victory. You may not feel like a conqueror, but your survival is proof. You already are. Chosen one. Lift your head. The battles of yesterday are becoming the testimonies of tomorrow. The unseen warfare has ended in undeniable triumph. And now, as the date approaches, you will see clearly. You were never fighting alone, and you were never fighting in vain. Chosen one. Hear this with a trembling heart. Mercy does not stretch on forever. There is a holy urgency in this hour. For the 8th of September does not only bring promise, it also brings finality. It is a day of crossing. and crossings always carry both blessing and warning, for the same door that opens to the surrendered will close to the hesitant. You have walked long in grace, carried gently when you staggered, lifted when you fell. The patience of heaven has covered you in seasons when your faith was thin, when your obedience was half-hearted, when your focus was divided. Mercy has been your shield, your safety net, your shelter. But beloved, there comes a time when mercy steps back and choice must step forward. The 8th of September is such a time. Consider the people of Israel in the wilderness. They circled the mountain for 40 years, always near the promise, but never entering it, because hesitation robbed them of faith. At last, the command came, "You have circled this mountain long enough. Break camp and advance." There was no more room for delay. Mercy had carried them. But obedience was now demanded. Chosen one, your life echoes that same pattern. How long have you circled? How many times have you come close but not crossed over? How many cycles of almost, nearly? Someday have you endured? Heaven's patience is great, but heaven's purposes are greater. And mercy whispers with a firm edge now, do not delay, do not waver. Step into what has been prepared. The Word of God declares in the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36, you need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Notice this truth. Promise is not automatic. Promise is inherited through perseverance, through obedience, through action. Chosen one. This is why hesitation in this hour is dangerous. When heaven calls you forward and you linger, the window can close. The Spirit is not a servant to your timeline. He moves by divine timing. Mercy can shield you for a season. But there comes a moment when heaven says, now is the time. And when that time passes, opportunities vanish. This is not to make you afraid, it is to awaken you. The weight of mercy is love. But the urgency of mercy is justice. Heaven does not wish to see you miss what has been prepared. That is why this word presses so strongly. Why your spirit feels the trembling of urgency. Why you cannot shake the sense that this is different. Because it is. Chosen one. Do not mistake the patience of God for passivity. The silence you endured was not absence. It was mercy waiting. But mercy is not endless permission. It is a temporary bridge. The 8th of September marks the point where the bridge becomes a doorway. And doorways do not remain open forever. Think of Noah's Ark. For years, the door stood open while the people laughed, doubted, and mocked. The rain had not yet fallen, but mercy had already made provision. Then, one day, the animals entered. Noah and his family stepped inside, and the Lord Himself shut the door. Mercy had waited, but justice arrived. Beloved, the same pattern is written into your moment now. This is why the Spirit whispers, do not harden your heart. The danger is not in failing. The danger is in refusing to move. The enemy would love to lull you into complacency, telling you there is always more time, always another chance. But heaven says otherwise. The final step means just that final. Chosen one. I feel this weight for you. The greatest danger is not falling, it is refusing to rise. The greatest tragedy is not stumbling, it is choosing to remain on the ground. And heaven will not let you remain there. Mercy warns because mercy loves. Mercy shouts because mercy sees the cliff ahead. Do not confuse warning with condemnation. This is not about shame, it is about awakening. The Father's heart is not against you, it is for you. His warning is proof of his love. He disciplines those he loves. He calls urgently to those he refuses to abandon. This urgency is not rejection, it is protection. Beloved, do not let procrastination rob you. Do not let fear chain you. Do not let hesitation close the door that was meant to usher you into destiny. The 8th of September is the line drawn, and mercy is speaking with clarity. Step now, before the window closes. Chosen one, take this seriously. Do not shrug it off. Do not silence the tug in your spirit. You are being warned because you are loved. You are being pressed because you are chosen. And heaven is unwilling to let you miss what has been prepared for you. The mercy that has carried you until now has not been wasted, but it was never meant to last forever. It was meant to lead you here, to this final step. And now, the choice lies in your hands. Chosen one. There comes a moment in every destiny when the crown is placed upon the head. When the wandering ceases and the assignment begins. The 8th of September is such a moment for you. It is the day heaven points at you and says, "Rise into what I always knew you were." The crown does not come because of ease. It comes because you endured what others could not. You have carried the weight of rejection, betrayal, and delay. You have felt invisible, overlooked, and underestimated. Yet through it all, you did not surrender to bitterness. You remained soft when hardness would have been easier, faithful when walking away would have seemed justifiable. That is the mark of the chosen. You have been tested not just in your strength, but in your heart. And heaven has found you ready. The prophet Isaiah records a promise that echoes with power. Chapter 62, verse 3. You will be a crown of splendor in the Lord's hand, a royal diadem in the hand of your God. Beloved, this is your identity. You are not forgotten clay. You are a crown being polished in secret, prepared to shine in the hand of the King. Chosen one, your life has been a hidden preparation for a visible unveiling. Crowns are not placed on just anyone. They are reserved for those who have passed through refining fire, for those who have proven faithful under pressure, for those who have carried burdens in silence without abandoning their post. That is you. You did not collapse. You did not let go. And now, the crown moment has come. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in prison, yet when the time was right, he was elevated overnight into authority. What seemed like wasted years were in fact crown years. The prison was shaping his wisdom. The betrayal was shaping his humility. The silence was shaping his endurance. And then the crown was placed. Beloved, your journey mirrors his. The 8th of September is your sudden shift. The enemy fought so hard because he saw the crown before you did. He tried to convince you to despise yourself, to believe you were unworthy, to think that your struggles proved you were disqualified. But in reality, every struggle was another jewel in your crown. Every battle, another weight of glory being added. What the enemy used to shame you, heaven is using to crown you. Chosen one, hear this. The crown does not erase the scars, but it gives them meaning. You will carry both the reminder of what you endured and the evidence of what you became. And when others see you crowned, they will not know the full story of your tears. But heaven knows. Heaven watched every sleepless night, every whispered prayer, every hidden sacrifice. And heaven says, now is the time. Do not shrink back when the crown is offered. Do not say, I am not worthy. Worthiness was never the requirement. Surrender was, and you surrendered, even when it cost you. That is why you are being entrusted now. This is the moment to respond in faith. Heaven is listening for your agreement, waiting for your voice to echo back the truth being spoken over you. As a prophetic act, type in the comments, I wear it. Let those 3 words seal what heaven is declaring. When you write them, you are not claiming vanity, you are acknowledging destiny. You are saying, I accept the crown. I embrace my identity. I walk into my assignment. I'm beloved. These words matter. When you say, I wear it, you are breaking agreement with every lie that told you you will never be enough. You are silencing every voice of the past that tried to keep you small. You are rising into agreement with heaven's voice, the only voice that matters. And that declaration is not just for you, it shakes the unseen. It breaks chains. It tells darkness, this one belongs to God, crowned and chosen. Do not fear the weight of the crown. Yes, it carries responsibility, but it also carries glory. The oil that has been poured over you will sustain you. The Spirit that has preserved you will empower you. You are not stepping into this alone. You are stepping into it with heaven's host surrounding you. Chosen one. Let this truth sink deep. The final step is not into emptiness, but into coronation. You are not walking away from purpose. You are walking into it fully. The 8th of September is your crown moment, and nothing the enemy tried has been able to stop it. So lift your head, beloved. Let your heart receive it. You are the diadem in the hand of your God, a vessel of splendor, a testimony of endurance. The waiting has ended. The refining has done its work, and the crown is ready. Type it now. I wear it. Let heaven record it. Let the earth witness it. Let the darkness tremble at it. For your crown moment is here, and you will not miss it. Chosen one. The word of God is never silent in moments like this. Scripture anchors us, reminding us that what we are stepping into is not built on emotion, but on eternal promise. The 8th of September is not a fragile dream, it is a firm decree. And as the day approaches, heaven points us again and again to His word as proof of what is unfolding. The word of God declares in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, God has not given a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of sound mind. Beloved, this is your guarantee. Fear cannot guide your steps into this new season. What has been placed inside of you is strength, clarity, and love. These are the tools that will carry you into your breakthrough. But here is the truth. Carrying this word forward is not a solitary journey. The message that awakens chosen ones around the world is like a fire. It burns brighter when the wood of many hearts is laid together. Alone, the flame flickers. Together, it roars. And you, beloved, have a role in keeping that fire alive. When you share this word, it is as though you are passing a torch into the hands of another weary traveler. When you like it, you are striking the match that allows the flame to spread where it otherwise would not reach. When you subscribe, you are choosing to remain close to the hearth, where warmth continues to sustain you. And when you give, you are pouring oil into the lamp so that its light never goes out. Think of it this way. Imagine a lighthouse standing on a dark coast. Ships tossed in storms do not see the keeper who climbs the stairs, who trims the wick, who refills the oil. They only see the light that guides them home. Beloved, when you support this work, whether through sharing, subscribing, or sowing, you are becoming that keeper. You may never meet the lives guided by the beam, but heaven counts your faithfulness in keeping the lamp burning. Your seed, your support, your participation is not just generosity, it is partnership. It is standing beside the messenger and saying, I will hold up your arms like Aaron and Hur held up Moses. It is saying, this message must keep going, and I will be one of the hands that carry it further. Every gift, every act of support, no matter how small, becomes part of the river that carries this voice into nations. And know this, when you give into God's work, you are not losing, you are sowing. A farmer does not cry when he releases seed into the ground. He rejoices because he knows a harvest is coming. In the same way, when you pour into the flow of this word, heaven multiplies it, not just for the mission, but for you, for the measure you use is measured back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Chosen one, you are part of something greater than yourself. This is not only about your journey, it is about the awakening of countless others. The enemy wants you to believe your voice is small, your action insignificant, but that is a lie. Every act of faithfulness is multiplied in heaven's hands. Every share may awaken a heart. Every like may push this word into the path of one who is ready to give up. Every donation may keep the flame alive for thousands more to see. This is how heaven works, not through grand gestures of the few, but through the faithful obedience of the many. Together, the body moves. Together, the fire burns. Together, the message spreads until no corner of darkness remains untouched. So, I speak to you with sincerity. If this word has strengthened your spirit, let your actions strengthen it in return. Pass it on. Remain connected. And so, if you are able, you are not giving to a man or a voice, you are giving to the mission of heaven, to the awakening of chosen ones scattered across the earth, to the cry that says, Rise, for your time has come. The 8th of September will be remembered not only for what shifts in your life, but for how far the flame spread because you chose to help it burn brighter. This is the heritage of the chosen, not to keep the light hidden, but to lift it high for all to see. Beloved, never underestimate the power of your partnership, for when you place even a single drop of oil into the lamp, you join heaven in lighting the way for many. And that, too, is part of your crown, chosen one. There is a stirring that cannot be silenced. It feels like a fire in your bones, a holy urgency pressing against every part of your being. You try to ignore it, yet it only burns hotter. You try to suppress it, yet it rises again. That is because this fire is not from you, it is from heaven. It is the mark of a chosen one who is no longer allowed to sit quietly while destiny knocks at the door. This fire comes with purpose. It does not burn aimlessly. It refines, purifies, and prepares. Think of a blacksmith's forge. Metal is placed into the flames, not to destroy it, but to make it pliable, to shape it into something stronger, sharper, and useful. Beloved, you are that metal. The fire you feel is shaping you into the vessel heaven has ordained. At times, you may have asked, why does it feel so heavy? Why does it feel so intense? Because heaven will not allow you to stay where you were. The old season cannot contain you anymore. The fire is breaking limitations, shattering apathy, and burning away every chain that tried to hold you. It is the holy discomfort that proves heaven is preparing to move you forward. We find in the book of Jeremiah the prophet's confession of this same burning. Chapter 20, verse 9. But if I say, I will not mention his word or speak any more in his name, his word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. Chosen one. This is your reality. The fire you feel is heaven's voice demanding to be heard through you. This is why silence no longer satisfies you. You may have tried to stay quiet, to remain unnoticed, to live as though you were ordinary. But the fire inside you does not allow it. You are not ordinary. You are a messenger, a vessel, a carrier of something greater than yourself, and heaven will not let you bury it under fear, doubt, or hesitation. Chosen one, do not fear this fire. It is not here to consume you, it is here to release you. Yes, it feels intense. Yes, it unsettles your comfort, but it is also the proof that you are alive in the Spirit. The fire is not your enemy, it is your confirmation. It is heaven saying, I have placed something inside you that cannot die. This fire will guide you when logic cannot. It will push you when strength fails. It will remind you when memory forgets. It will rise up when darkness tries to silence you. You will not be able to shake it, because it was not meant to be shaken. It was meant to be carried until it accomplishes what it was sent for. Think of Moses. He encountered God in a burning bush. Fire that did not consume but called him into destiny. That same fire burns in you, not on the outside, but within. It is the fire of purpose, igniting you for the mission you were born to fulfill. Chosen one. This is why you feel restless when others are content. It is why you hunger for more when others settle for less. It is why you cannot simply go through life as though nothing greater is at stake. The fire inside of you refuses to let you forget who you are. The 8th of September is not only about external changes, it is about internal ignition. Heaven is not just shifting circumstances, it is igniting hearts. And your heart is among them. You are stepping into a season where the fire within you will no longer stay hidden. It will spill into your words, your actions, your very presence. People will notice something different, even if they cannot explain it. The light of the fire will shine through you. Beloved, let this fire do its work. Do not resist it. Do not fear it. Do not try to smother it. Let it refine you. Let it strip away what does not belong. Let it shape you into the warrior, the vessel, the voice heaven has destined you to be. And understand this: fire spreads. The flame you carry is not only for you, it is for those around you. Your obedience will spark others. Your passion will awaken the sleeping. Your light will pierce the darkness. The fire that feels overwhelming inside you now will soon become a beacon for many. Chosen one. Embrace the fire. Do not fight it. It is heaven's seal upon your life. It is proof that you are not forgotten. not abandoned, not ordinary. It is the holy urgency that declares, you are chosen, and the time is now. Chosen one. When heaven moves, it always invites the earth to respond. The 8th of September is not just a day written on your calendar, it is a day written in eternity. It is a call for alignment, a summons for agreement. And the way you respond matters more than you realize. For heaven listens not only to your silence, but to your words, your actions, your declarations. This is why prophetic acts carry such weight. They are not empty rituals, they are the visible evidence of invisible faith. When you speak what heaven speaks, you are aligning earth with heaven. When you act in obedience, you are creating ripples that touch generations. What feels small in your hands echoes like thunder in the spirit. Consider Abraham. He lifted a knife on Mount Moriah, and though the sacrifice never happened, the act itself sealed a covenant that stretched through nations. Consider Joshua. He marched around Jericho with silent obedience, and the walls that seemed immovable crumbled by divine power. These were prophetic acts, faith expressed outwardly, unlocking heaven's promises inwardly. Chosen one, you are being called into a prophetic act in this very season, not to perform for others, but to mark your covenant with heaven. The 8th of September is a doorway, and every doorway requires a step. Silence will not do. Delay will not do. Agreement is required. Visible and undeniable. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 10, verse 10, "For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved." And this is why I urge you to seal this word with a number in the comments, a prophetic number that carries heaven's imprint. Type 777 as your agreement. This number is not chosen lightly. It represents divine completion, spiritual perfection, and heavenly fulfillment. It declares that what God has begun in you, He will bring to perfect completion. When you type 777, you are not merely posting digits. You are aligning yourself with heaven's order. You are saying, I step into completion. I embrace fulfillment. I agree with heaven's perfect plan. These 3 sevens are not coincidence. They are covenant. They declare that heaven's work in you is whole, perfect, and unstoppable. Chosen one, do not underestimate this act. You may think, it's only a number, only a comment, but in the unseen, it is a declaration written in fire. It is a signal to heaven and to darkness alike that you belong to the side of fulfillment, not failure. It is you taking your place in the divine story, being written. Think of it like a seal on a letter. The words may already be written inside, but the seal ensures they cannot be broken or altered. Your act of typing 777 is the seal on your covenant, ensuring the word spoken over you remains intact until it manifests. Beloved, heaven treasures obedience. Every small act of alignment is multiplied in its impact. When you write 777, it is as though you are carving your yes into eternity. It is not performance, it is partnership. It is not ritual, it is revelation. The 8th of September is approaching swiftly, and you cannot afford to step into it half-heartedly. The fire that burns within you must be matched by the words that flow from you. Speak it, declare it, write it, seal it. Do not let hesitation rob you of your prophetic act. Chosen one, I sense the Spirit reminding you even now, this act is not about numbers on a screen. It is about hearts aligning with heaven. Every time you declare 777, you are joining a chorus of chosen ones across the earth saying, "We are ready. We are aligned. We are complete in Him." Imagine the roar of that agreement, echoing not only in the digital realm, but in the heavenly one. This is why heaven has paused for you now, to remind you that your voice matters, that your obedience matters, that your agreement carries weight. What you seal in faith today will be unveiled in glory tomorrow. So let your heart be bold. Do not hold back. Do not overthink. Simply align. Simply declare. Simply seal what has already been spoken. The 8th of September will not pass like an ordinary day. It will mark the crossing into something eternal, and your prophetic act will ensure you do not miss it. Chosen one, this is your moment. Heaven is ready. The question is, will you agree? Type 777 now, and let your spirit stand tall in the presence of heaven. For your completion is here. Your fulfillment is here. Your alignment is here. And nothing can stop what God has perfected. Chosen one, you have walked through shadows that few could endure. The weight of rejection, betrayal, and misunderstanding carved valleys in your heart. The long seasons of delay felt like chains around your ankles, dragging you down when all you wanted was to rise. You prayed in silence, often wondering if your voice even reached heaven. And yet, here you are still standing, still breathing, still chosen. The valley was real, the pain was real, but beloved, the shadow is proof that there was always a light, even when you could not see it, even when it felt absent. The light was behind you, beside you, within you. The shadow was only evidence that you had not been abandoned. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 4, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff. They comfort me." End of quote. The rejection you endured was not a verdict against you, it was a redirection for you. Every no was not a denial, it was protection. Heaven heard conversations you could not, saw traps you could not, discerned intentions you could not. And so, doors were closed, relationships ended, opportunities vanished, not to harm you, but to preserve you. Chosen one, your tears were not wasted. Every drop watered the soil of tomorrow's harvest. Every sigh became a seed of intercession. Every groan too deep for words was translated in heaven's language. You thought you were breaking, but you were actually sowing. And now, the season of reaping approaches. The betrayals that pierced you were not the end of your story. They were part of the refining. A diamond must endure cutting before it can shine. Gold must endure fire before it can be pure. Oil must endure pressing before it can flow. You, beloved, have endured all three, and the proof of it will be glory revealed. Do not despise the shadows. They taught you discernment. They sharpened your vision. They forced you to lean on the shepherd when no one else remained. They stripped away every illusion of self-sufficiency and tethered you to the one who never fails. You may not see it clearly yet, but one day you will look back and thank God for the valley, because it shaped you into the vessel who could carry the mountain. Chosen one, hear this. You are not defined by who left you, by who doubted you, by who betrayed you. You are defined by who stayed with you, the shepherd, the guardian of your soul, the one who never abandoned you in the night. That is your identity. Not rejected, but redeemed. Not abandoned, but appointed. Not forgotten, but forever chosen. The delays that wearied you were not denials. They were divine pauses. You wanted speed, but heaven wanted strength. You wanted shortcuts, but heaven wanted foundation. You wanted visibility, but heaven wanted depth. That is why it felt like waiting, but in truth, it was building. The 8th of September is not sudden. It is the unveiling of years of quiet preparation. Now, beloved, the season of shadows is giving way to the season of favor. The cloak of invisibility is being lifted, and the mantle of glory is being placed. The silence that once pressed you into doubt will now echo with songs of joy. The tears that once blurred your vision will now anoint your eyes to see clearly. The pain that once threatened to bury you will now become the testimony that lifts others out of their graves. Do not waste the lessons of the shadows. Carry them with you as treasures. They are your compass in seasons to come. They remind you that even in the darkest night, the light of God's presence cannot be extinguished. They remind you that you were never walking alone, never fighting alone, never weeping alone. Chosen one. Your story is shifting from shadow to shine, and when others look at you, they will see not just survival but transformation. They will marvel, not because you avoided the valley, but because you emerged from it radiant, carrying oil, carrying wisdom, carrying authority. The shadows are behind you now. The valley is no longer your home. The 8th of September marks the moment you step out. No longer hidden, no longer chained, no longer delayed. You are walking into undeniable favor, into light that cannot be dimmed, into the promise that was always yours. Chosen one. The valley could not hold you. The shadows could not bury you. The delays could not cancel you. You are walking out, and nothing will ever look the same again. Chosen one. As you step into the days ahead, know this: you have not been left defenseless. You were never meant to face this journey in your own strength. Heaven has placed weapons in your hands. Tools forged not by human craft, but by divine design. These are not fragile instruments. They are eternal, unshakable, and powerful to demolish strongholds. The battles you have fought until now were not accidents. They were training grounds. Every tear, every struggle, every sleepless night sharpened your spirit to wield what you now carry. You may not have realized it, but in the hidden seasons, heaven was arming you. The very resistance you endured was preparing you to fight with skill, clarity, and authority. Chosen one. Remember this: your greatest weapon has never been fleshly strength. It has always been the word spoken over you, the presence walking with you, the truth that cannot be shaken. This is why the enemy fought so hard to silence your prayer life, to cloud your mind with confusion, to weigh your heart with despair. He knew that if you discovered the weapons already in your hands, you would become unstoppable. The Apostle Paul reveals this mystery with clarity in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 4. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. Oh, chosen one, You may feel small, but your weapons are not. They carry the weight of eternity, the authority of heaven, the fire of the Spirit. When you lift them, you are not fighting alone. You are fighting with the backing of all heaven. This is why the darkness trembles when you pray. Why chains break when you speak truth. Why atmospheres shift when you worship. Your weapons are not for display. They are for use. Do not leave your sword sheathed in silence. Do not let your shield rest at your side, unused. Do not forget the armor that was crafted for you. Every morning, rise, knowing you are clothed in heaven's strength. Every night, rest, knowing no weapon formed against you shall prevail. Chosen one. Think of David. He refused the king's armor because it was heavy and untested. Instead, he carried what heaven had trained him to use, a sling and a stone. To the world, it looked weak. To heaven, it was enough. That is how your weapons appear. The world mocks prayer, underestimates faith, belittles righteousness. Yet these are the very tools that bring giants down. This is why your journey until now has been so unique. Others may not understand why you chose silence when they would have fought with words. Why you chose forgiveness when they would have sought revenge. Why you chose to pray when they would have surrendered to despair. But your choices were never weakness, they were warfare. Each act of faith was a strike against the enemy. Each act of love was a victory claimed. Each act of endurance was another fortress, crumbling. Chosen one. Let this be clear. The 8th of September is not just about stepping into promise, it is about stepping into authority. You are no longer the one merely surviving battles. You are the one carrying weapons sharpened by fire. You are being called not just to withstand, but to advance. Not just to defend, but to claim territory. Not just to endure, but to conquer. The tools are already in your hands. Use them boldly. When lies whisper, wield truth. When fear rises, lift your shield of faith. When confusion swirls, let peace anchor your feet. When despair presses in, remember salvation's crown upon your head. And when darkness tries to silence you, let the sword of the Spirit cut through with unshakable power. Chosen one. You will not fall unarmed. You will not stumble defenseless. You carry what heaven has entrusted to you. And those weapons are enough. Do not compare them to what others hold. Do not despise them because they seem simple. Trust the God who placed them in your hands. For with these, you are more than a conqueror. The 8th of September will not only reveal who you are, it will reveal what you carry. And when the world sees you rise, they will not understand how someone who endured so much now stands so strong. But you will know, it is not you, it is the armor, the weapons, the Spirit within. It is the unseen power that has been shaping you all along. So, beloved, walk forward with confidence. The battle ahead is real, but so is your victory. The darkness is fierce, but so is your light. And the weapons you hold are not of this world, they are divine. And with them, you will not fail. Chosen one. Heaven's voice is louder now than ever before. This is not a whisper for the casual, it is a trumpet blast for the committed. The 8th of September is not only a shift in the spirit, it is a final rallying cry for those who refuse to stay asleep. You are being summoned to rise, not in silence, but in strength, not in hiding, but in boldness. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Joel of a day when the trumpet would sound, summoning the chosen into alignment. That trumpet is echoing now. It shakes the complacent, awakens the weary, and strengthens the faithful. And you, beloved, are hearing it because you are meant to respond. You have carried the weight of silence long enough, your prayers whispered in the dark, your tears hidden in the night, your sacrifices unnoticed by men but recorded by heaven. All of these have brought you to this moment. And now heaven says, it is time. The final call to rise is upon you. The Word of God declares in the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11, the hour has come to wake from slumber. Our salvation is nearer than when we first believed. Beloved, this is not a distant future, it is a present command. Wake up, rise up, and step into the destiny that has been waiting for you. But hear this, you are not being called to rise alone. The trumpet summons an army, not an individual. Chosen ones across nations are awakening, standing shoulder to shoulder in the Spirit, lifting their voices as one, and this message is one of the sparks igniting that fire. Together, we are part of something larger than ourselves. This is why your role matters so much. When you share this word, it is like blowing on embers in another heart, awakening their fire. When you like it, you are adding weight to its voice, helping it cut through the noise of a distracted world. When you subscribe, you are saying, I will not let this flame flicker out in me. And when you donate, you are pouring oil into the lamp so the light continues to shine for others wandering in the dark. Think of a vineyard. The branches are many, but they all draw from one vine. Some bear fruit that others eat. Some provide shade. Some carry weight. But together they make the vineyard thrive. In the same way, this mission depends not on one voice, but on the faithful participation of many. You are one of those branches, and what you do, your support, your faithfulness, your response makes the vineyard flourish. And hear me with tenderness, when you give, it is not about amounts, it is about alignment. A drop of water may seem small, but when joined with others, it becomes a river. Your seed, no matter how small, is a drop that helps form the current, and that current carries this message to those who have no idea how close they are to missing their final step. Beloved, the trumpet is sounding. The final call is going forth. Do not underestimate your part in it. Partnering with this word through sharing, subscribing, and sowing is not about supporting a voice. It is about joining a movement. It is about saying, I am part of this awakening. I will not sit back while others sleep. I will blow the trumpet too. And now I turn to you with sincerity. Let your voice also rise. In the comments, write words that declare your awakening. Write what stirs in your spirit. Do not let this be a passive moment. Write, so that others who read will see and be stirred too. Your comment may be the spark that awakens another chosen one scrolling past, wondering if this word is truly for them. This is the power of unity. Each response, each action, each declaration adds to the sound. Like instruments in an orchestra, each note by itself may seem small, but together they create a symphony that moves hearts and shakes atmospheres. The 8th of September is near. The time is short. The trumpet has sounded, and heaven is calling. Do not remain still. Rise in spirit. Rise in voice. Rise in action. You are chosen for this moment, and your response is part of the awakening. Heaven is unleashing across the earth. Like, share, subscribe, give if you are led, and write your declaration in the comments, not as ritual, but as resonance, not as performance, but as prophecy. For together, we are not just hearing the trumpet, we are answering it. Chosen one. The vision unfolding before you is not abstract. It is vivid, radiant, undeniable. Heaven has been preparing not just your heart, but your very identity for this moment of coronation. The 8th of September is not merely a turning of the page, it is a crowning, a divine appointment where your hidden years are honored. Your endurance is rewarded, and your assignment is sealed. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine it. You are standing in a great hall, not built by human hands, but shimmering with heavenly light. The atmosphere is alive, charged with a holiness you can feel in your bones. Angels gather, their voices weaving harmonies that words cannot capture. A throne gleams in the distance, not to replace God's eternal throne, but as a seat of honor for those he chooses to mantle. And then, your name is called. You step forward, trembling, yet carried by grace. Every step feels heavy with memory, every rejection, every tear, every lonely night rises before your eyes. But as you walk, you realize none of it was wasted. The pain has become jewels. The scars have become gold. The silence has become oil. What the world dismissed, heaven now crowns. The writings of Peter declare this truth. Chapter 5, verse 4. When the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade. Beloved, this is not metaphor alone, it is promise. The crown prepared for you is not temporary. It cannot tarnish, cannot rust, cannot be stolen. It is a crown of eternal significance, placed by hands that never make mistakes. Chosen one. Feel the weight of that crown as it is lowered upon your head. It does not crush you, it steadies you. It does not overwhelm you, it affirms you. Heaven's voice thunders, not in anger, but in affirmation. This one is mine. This one endured. This one carries my glory. And in that moment, all the whispers of doubt, all the lies of the enemy, all the shame of the past are silenced forever. This coronation is more than symbolic, it is commissioning. The crown is not just for honor, it is for authority. You are being mantled as a torchbearer, carrying fire into places that have grown cold. Where others stumble in darkness, your light will go before you. Where others hesitate, your courage will lead. Where others despair, your testimony will ignite hope. Chosen one. The vision is clear. Heaven is not crowning you to sit silently in comfort. Heaven is crowning you to carry responsibility. You are entrusted with influence, not for self, but for kingdom. You are entrusted with authority not to dominate, but to liberate. You are entrusted with glory not to boast, but to illuminate the one who chose you. Do not despise the weight of the mantle. It is heavy because it is holy. It is weighty because it carries eternity within it. But you will find that the same hand that placed the crown also strengthens your shoulders to bear it. The oil of anointing is not just for ceremony, it is for endurance. Consider Esther. She did not seek a crown, Yet heaven placed one upon her head. She did not rise for comfort, but for courage. For such a time as this was her calling. And so it is yours. The 8th of September is your such a time. You were not prepared for ease. You were prepared for this precise hour. Chosen one. The coronation you are stepping into is not an end. It is a beginning of greater responsibility, of deeper intimacy, of bolder authority. You are being sent as a flame into the night, as a voice into the silence, as a standard lifted high for others to rally around. You are no longer hidden, you are commissioned. Let this vision steady you. When the days grow heavy again, remember the crown. When the battles rise, remember the mantle. When the darkness presses, remember the fire you now carry. The coronation is not a fleeting moment, it is a permanent identity. You are crowned. You are mantled. You are sent. The 8th of September will be remembered not only as the day everything changed, but as the day you stepped into the fullness of who you are. Heaven's seal rests upon you now, and nothing, no enemy, no failure, no shadow can strip it away. Walk forward, beloved. Hold your head high. You carry more than memory. Now you carry majesty. The crown is yours. The mantle is yours. The mission is yours. And all of heaven rejoices to see you wear it. Chosen one. The hour has arrived where the words you have carried in hope are unfolding in reality. The 8th of September is not tomorrow's dream, it is today's declaration. Everything changes now. What once was hidden is being revealed. What once was delayed is being released. What once felt uncertain is being confirmed. The shift is not only near, it is here. This moment is not random. It is the fruit of years of endurance, the reward of faith, the culmination of countless unseen battles. You thought you were walking in circles, but you were climbing in spirals. Every repetition was actually elevation. And now, at the top of this ascent, heaven opens its hand and releases what it has been holding for you. Chosen one. Look around with the eyes of the Spirit. The atmosphere feels different because it is different. The heaviness you once felt is lifting. The shadows that clung to you are breaking. The silence that once pressed against your chest is shattering. You are stepping into a place where your spirit can breathe freely again. This is not illusion, it is liberation. The voice of God speaks in Revelation. Chapter 21, verse 5. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. Beloved, hear this. It is not you making things new, it is Him. You are not striving into change. You are stepping into what heaven has already renewed. This is why the warfare was so intense before this moment. The enemy fights hardest when he senses his time is short. He tried to hold you in cycles, to bury you in fear, to convince you that nothing would change. But the seal of heaven was stronger. His lies crumbled before the decree written in eternity. This one is chosen, and the time has come. Yes, chosen one. Everything changes now. The patterns of delay are broken. The chains of rejection are shattered. The veil of confusion is lifted. You are walking into clarity, into acceleration, into undeniable favor. What you once begged for, you will now walk in. What you once dreamed of, you will now hold. What you once thought was impossible will now be your testimony. Do not underestimate the magnitude of this shift. The 8th of September is not just a private moment, it is a cosmic alignment. The heavens declare it. The earth responds to it. And your spirit confirms it. The angels rejoice. Not because you were rescued, but because you endured. And now, the story that heaven wrote over your life is turning its most radiant page. Chosen one. Let hope rise again in your heart. The days ahead will not mirror the days behind. The valley season has ended. The wilderness wandering is over. The tears of yesterday are being exchanged for the joy of tomorrow. You will still face battles, but you will face them crowned, mantled, and victorious. You will still walk through storms, but you will walk with peace, unshaken. You will still carry burdens, but they will be lighter because you are no longer carrying them alone. Beloved, believe this with all your being. You are stepping into your inheritance. You are entering the land promised to you. The season prepared for you. The glory appointed for you. And nothing, not delay, not fear, not opposition can take it from you now. Everything changes now. Not because you demanded it, but because heaven decreed it. The author of your story has turned the page. And this chapter will not read like the last, where once you saw despair, you will see hope. Where once you walked in silence, you will walk in song. Where once you carried shame, you will carry glory. Chosen one. Breathe deeply. The air is new. Walk boldly. The path is clear. Lift your head. The crown rests upon you. Stretch your hands. The mantle covers you. Step forward. The door is open. The 8th of September is the line between what was and what will be. And as you cross it, remember this: you are chosen, and nothing will ever be the same again. Chosen one. Pause for a moment and let everything you have heard settle deep in your spirit. This is not just another message, it is a prophetic unfolding. You have been led step by step through valleys, through shadows, through fire, through silence. And now you stand crowned, mantled, and appointed. The 8th of September is not merely a date, it is a divine marker that heaven has set as your turning point. Take courage in knowing that none of your suffering was wasted. Every scar has meaning. Every tear has value. Every prayer has been gathered. And now the answers are being released. The battles were fierce, but they proved the weight of your assignment. You were not crushed, you were prepared. You were not abandoned, you were preserved. As you step forward from this moment, hold fast to the truth that everything changes now. Carry the crown not as a symbol of pride, but of purpose. Carry the mantle not as a burden, but as a gift, and walk boldly into the days ahead. Knowing you are not alone, you are carried by the one who called you. Beloved, let your heart rest. The striving is over. The waiting is fulfilled. The door has opened, and you are stepping into the season you were born for. Stand tall, shine brightly, and remember always, you are chosen, you are crowned, and you are loved beyond measure. This is your time. This is your hour. This is your final step into everything new.